Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to see the Python essentials, especially about the conditional statements, looping and functions. Okay, so today's agenda is we're going to see about the conditional statements. And we're also going to see about the functions. And the third topic that we're going to see is about the loops. Okay. So first we are going to see is about the conditional statements. Okay, conditional statements. So these are the conditional statements, like you have if, we have elif statements, and we have if else statement also. We have a simple if, we have if else statements, we have multiple if else statements that we call it as a elif statements. So let's see with an example how these conditional statements can be used. So first we'll see about the simple if. Okay. uh, Whenever you use conditional statements or looping or function, the indentation is very, very important. So we'll see one example for simple if. So let's assume that a has value as 10. Now I'm just checking if a is equals to 0. Okay. When you give if, when a is equals to, when you give a condition, you have to give the colon here, and automatically it will take you to a proper indentation. Okay. So here I'm just giving it print the value of a is 10. Okay. Okay, the value of a is 10, and next I'm again printing it, telling that it is inside the if block. It is inside the if block. Okay, so as long as you give this indentation, always all the set of statements will be there. So once you want to come out of the if statement, then you have to remove your indentation and then just type this is outside the block, outside the if block. Okay, if the condition becomes false, then it will print here. So when you execute this, you can see the value of a is 10 and it is still inside the if block. Then finally, after printing these two values, it has to come to the default print statement, that is your print outside the if block. Okay, so this is simple if statement. If the condition is true, it will just execute all the statements that are put under the if statements. Okay, so until this indentation is present, how many ever statements you want to put it under if statement, you can put it. Okay, so now we'll say if the condition is failure, what happens? If the same if simple if, let's assume that the value of a is not 10, then will this statement get executed? No. So directly it will come to the print outside the if block. So you can check. Yes. So my input was a is equals to 10, but I'm checking if a is equals to 5. So the condition is false. So it will just come to the last statement, that is print outside the if block. Okay. Now we'll see simple if else. Okay. So when you have a or part also, if the condition fails, what should I do? So we can have the same example here. A is equals to 10. Let me have a is equals to 5. Okay, so a is equals to 5. I'm just telling the value of a is 10 and it is inside the block. Now I have to do the else part. So else is a keyword. Then you have to put a colon, and then you have to just tell this is the else part of the if block. Okay, and after this, when you give here print, then it is outside. Okay, so here I've given a is equals to 10, but I'm checking whether if a is equals to 5. If it is same, then these two statements will be executed. Otherwise, this else statement will be executed. By default, the last statement will be executed. So here our condition is false, so it goes for the else part. So this is the else part of the if block, and we are coming out. Assume that we have the same value. Okay, let me make this as 10. Then now these two lines will be executed because that is inside the if, and finally it is outside also will be printed. Okay, this is your if else. So if given a condition, then it will be, say suppose we can have like this, a is equals to, sorry, a is equals to 8. Okay, if a is greater than 0, then I say it's a positive number. Okay, it's a positive number. Else I just say it's a negative number. Okay, see, a is 8. 8 is a positive number, so it checks whether it is greater than 0. Yes, it is greater than 0, so it is printing a is a positive. Say suppose if I give a is equals to -8, then it will show you that it is a negative number. Okay, so this is simple if else. Now we'll see how to have multiple else if conditions. So that is using the elif statement. So that is using elif statement. Okay. Say suppose you have a positive, negative, and a 0 number. Okay. So let's assume a is equals to 0. Okay. I'm just copying these set of lines here. Okay. So if condition a is greater than 0, I'm just printing it's a positive number. If not, then I have to go for the elif. I have multiple else condition. So elif is a keyword, elif, and you have to say the condition here also when a is less than 0. Okay, it is a negative number. Otherwise, by default, okay, otherwise by default, it is going to be a 0. Okay, so a is equals to 0. Then if a is greater than 0, I say it is a positive number. L if I'm just checking if the condition, again one more condition I'm checking here. So if that is less than 0, then I'm just telling it's a negative number. Otherwise, I'm just telling it is a 0. So when you run this program, since my a value is 0, it is printing at 0. Say suppose if I copy it again and I give value is equals to some 10. Okay, it will show you it is a positive number. Okay, so this is conditional statement. So we have simple if, then we have else if, and then we have elif when you have multiple conditions to be checked. So likewise we can write any programs. The second agenda that we are going to see is called as the functions. Okay, so functions is a set of instructions which are written to carry out a particular function or particular work. Okay, so functions will have a set of code, okay, to perform some task. Okay, it will have some thing. So mainly it is used for code reusability. So I need not use or I need not type the program again and again. Okay, so once it is written as a function, then I can use it anytime. So basically it is used for code reusability. We call it as a set of statements or set of code or a set of modules. So that is called as a function. So let's see how to create a function. So the keyword is def. Okay, that's for defining a function. Def is a keyword. Then you have to give any name for your function. I'm just going to calculate the area of a square. So I'm just giving area. Then to calculate the area of a square, I need the side. So I'm just giving side. Any variable name you can keep. You should have a colon. Then you can see, like similar to your if statement, here also proper indentation is required. So then I say it is print area of a square is nothing but side into side. Okay, this is my function. Okay, this is my function. So this is only called as your function definition. Okay, this is function definition, which means that I just told you what exactly is my function doing. Okay, I should make a call to this function, only then this function will be executed. So now you have to make a function call. So only when you call the function, it will get executed. So function call is nothing but the name of the function is area, and it takes one argument. So I have to specify any one value, that is the side of a square. So when you execute this, we'll get the answer as 25. Okay, so this 5 will be replaced by the side variable. Then it will calculate 5 into 5 and it will display the answer. Okay, so this is one way. This is function definition. You can have here, uh, instead of this, you can do it using a print statement also here when you want more readability. Okay, suppose area 1 is equals to side into side, and then you want to print telling that the area of a square is, okay, area of a square is, then you give the variable name. Okay, and then you call your function. Area of, say suppose I give 10, then it will display the area of the square is 100. So you can have a print statement there also. Now let's do one more to calculate the area of rectangle. So how will you do? So create a function to calculate area of a rectangle. Okay, so for that you need, okay, for that you need two parameters, the length and the breadth. Okay, so now I'll define the function def, okay, area 1, okay, and it is going to take two parameters, length comma breadth. Okay, length comma breadth. Okay, now I have to keep a colon here, then specify what I have to do. Area is equals to length star, sorry, breadth. Okay, and now I print the area of the rectangle is, okay, comma area. Okay, this is for the definition of the function. Now I'll execute with the function call area 1 of length and 4 comma 5. Now I'll know the area of rectangle is 20. Okay, so I can pass n number of parameters to my functions. Okay, the third agenda that we're going to see is about the looping. Okay, so loops basically are used whenever you want to repeat some works. Okay, so whenever you want to repeat some task again and again, then we will use the looping. And in loops we are going to see while loop and for loop. Okay, so first is your for loop. So we'll see how for loop is defined and how it is used. Okay, so both the statement, as I said, we are just doing it for repetition. Say suppose you want to print the whole class list, student number and the name and the age or marks, or you want to display, like you want to run the programs from 1 to 100, you want to display the numbers like that, then we will use the looping statements. So we'll just display or we'll just print numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, we can't keep printing print 1, print 2, print 3, print 4. So whenever you have the same task repeated again and again, then we will use the for loop. So the syntax for is a keyword, then you can have any index variable I, Then in, you have to specify where, from where to where your work has to work. You have to repeat. So I'm just giving a range function. Okay, range. Say suppose you want to display values from 1 to 10. So always in Python, the last value will be excluded. So you have to give 1 comma 11. Okay, then put a colon here, then enter, print. Okay, the values are, okay, you have to just print your I variable. Okay, so what happens is this I will take the values from this particular range. So first I will assume the value as 1, then it will get incremented to 1, then I value will become 2, then it will check whether it is between this range. So until it becomes 10, it will keep printing it. So now when I print this, you can see that the values are printed from 1 to 10. So similarly, you can print n numbers. Say suppose you want to print, okay, print even numbers from 2 to 20. So how will you print? It is for I in range, okay, I should start from 2 and I should go up to 21 and it should be in the even number. So I'm just printing it, print I. You can see the even values between 2 and 20 are displayed here. Okay, you can also have run your for loop with a list of values. Say suppose I have a fruits, okay, which is a list of fruits, oranges, mango. Okay, let me have a list of values fruits here. Now for I in, okay, fruits, then colon, just display, okay, print the name of the fruit is, you have to display I. So it will just take one values from each of the list and then it will print. So this is a for loop. And next we'll see the while loop. So it will exactly work as same as your for loop, only the syntax will be changing. So while loop also same as your for loop, only syntax changes, but the working will be same. Okay, so first initialization to be done. So I is equals to 2 while I is less than 21. Okay, I just put a colon here, then I'm just printing I, and then I'm just incrementing because I'm going to display I is equals to I plus 2. Okay, and then finally you want to print it as out of the loop. So print, okay, print out of the loop. So it will just print numbers from 2 to 20 and in multiples of 2. Okay, so I started with I is equals to 2 and I have to go up to 21, and then I'm printing all the values. So to get an even number of values, okay, I'm just giving I is equals to I plus 2. We can give I is equals to I plus 1 also. So we want to print only values from 1 to 10. So I'll start I is equals to 1, then while I less than 11. Okay, since we are starting from 1 to 10, you have to give 11, then just print I, and you have to say I is getting incremented by 1. So it will display values from 1 to 10. So this is how the while loop works.